Hi, my name is Jane Powell. Welcome to Community Connections, brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. This is a show showcasing community involvement, and boy, are we going to have fun today. My guest is Amanda Bridgette. Hello.
Hello.
Amanda, you are founder and president of Three Bridges Arts. Okay, just talking about the arts makes me happy, so I can't wait to hear what all we're going to learn today. Three Bridges Art, how did it start?
It started, 2.5 years ago. I've written a musical, and it's set in the sex trafficking world. Yes, it's a pretty heavy subject. I've worked pretty heavily in Atlanta, Georgia, with girls that had been rescued from trafficking. And so I've been in the arts for 20 plus years, and I don't want to tell my age, but I've been in the arts. So I decided to use my background and my experience to create something that would bring social awareness. In starting to try to workshop this musical, I was working with many nonprofit organizations, and many suggested you should start a nonprofit because then we can kind of partner together and work together. You know, being an artist, I said, sure, okay, sounds like a great idea, having no clue what a nonprofit entailed. And so in this journey in the last 2 years, and as we've kind of created our model for our nonprofit, one side of Three Bridges is to support playwrights who are creating new works that bring social awareness. It doesn't always have to be social justice, but social awareness, stories that can bring us together and connect us, because that's what art does.
That's right.
But the other side of it, as we really started building the pillars, is education. And that's the big part that I'm probably going to talk about today.
Okay.
And not only education, but specialized education. Because to really master something, to have a craft, you have to know it. You have to specialize in it. And so that was one of the pillars for Three Bridges. And these are the two things that we've been really working on and focusing on over the last year and a half as we're building this nonprofit.
I love it. Education and the arts, combining them is always a winning combination. So you had this idea. You talked to some nonprofits. They're like, it's good. Okay, how do you start that?
Well,
and who helps you get started?
Exactly, and I was very lost. I was very lost. So I started with an organization in Atlanta called Wellspring Living. And they have 3 safe houses where they rescue, they open it up to kids that have been rescued from trafficking. And then they just help, they give them educations, rehabilitation, complete care, medical, everything. And so then I came back to West Virginia, and I was a little bit lost. And I will tell you, the community here, the professional community, the nonprofit community was amazing. To start out, Jennifer Goddard from the YWCA. Jennifer, I think she is just a lady. I always
Yes,
told her
she
she is such a lady. But she was a wealth of information. She was so helpful.
Good.
She helped us workshop this. They had one of their first awareness events, I think 2 years, maybe 2017, at the Episcopalian Church. I think it was at St. John's or St. Mark's in Charleston. And she called me, and we got together and were able to highlight one of the songs and utilize that as they had speakers. And she really guided me. From there, Dill Battle and Spillman Thomas and Battle, he was, and some of his associates, they were so helpful in helping me get this nonprofit started, built, understanding the ins and outs, the legalities, things that I was clueless about. From there, I will tell you, Gray Griffith and Mays has been amazing, because I didn't realize nonprofits had to pay taxes and do things like that, or understand taxes. And so they were, once again, Danny Blair there was so helpful in guiding me. I'm just trying to think about other people that have helped me. Lane, I think it's Lane Consulting. It's Margaret Mary Lane. She's in Huntington. She's a consultant. She was once again, a wealth of information. The West Virginia Division of Culture and Arts, Randall Reed, and all the group there have been so amazing to help me, to guide me, to know what to do. So those are just some of the resources here and I was new. Not a lot of people knew me here, and they were wonderful to support me, to help me, to give me information, to give me probably college courses and crash courses, you know.
Yeah.
They really, really helps me. And then from the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation, Stephanie Heyer has been my angel. You know, I would probably call her my mentor. She's really guided me, given me a lot of information and been helpful, and resources.
She's very good at that.
Yeah, she is. She is.
She is. But I feel like you had a great idea and you knew what you wanted to do with it, and the community rallied around you.
Yeah.
And showed you what you needed to do to make a project happen. And now you do have a project that's happening, right?
Yes. Yep.
And it's happening soon.
Tonight,
Yeah. So by the time people see this, it will have happened, and it will continue to happen. Is that right?
That's right.
It's a series. So let's talk about that series.
Okay.
And what will happen and what the expectations are.
Okay. The series, it's called Wednesday Workshops, and it's a series of master classes is what it is.
Oh, I feel like I'm talking to Oprah. Okay. Tell me about your master class.
It's a series of master classes all based around performing arts. The three disciplines in performing arts are singing, acting, and dancing. So they're all based around these three disciplines. And so what I have done, I have 20 years of experience in the industry, and so I piloted this when COVID began, when the pandemic began. My husband and I actually, I'll just tell you a little story. We were supposed to go on a cruise ship. Brian Kennedy and I were supposed to be working as guest artists on a cruise ship, and we were supposed to leave April 1st for rehearsals in New Orleans, where we got the news March 20th or something that was canceled. So it was great disappointment. And as I was working through that disappointment as an adult, I thought, how do the students feel right now? You know, how do kids feel? There's school, there's all these things they're looking forward to, proms, graduations, and now this, you know. And I'm an adult, but they're younger, you know. And so in that, I called a bunch of friends, got in touch with a bunch of friends who've been on Broadway. Some of them work for Steven Spielberg and write for TV, and said, hey, would you be willing to volunteer an hour of time once a week to talk about your experience as a professional in the industry, give them some different insights into how it works? Absolutely. So we did from March, I believe, through the end of May, every Wednesday, we did a master class, a workshop, and I just contacted kids that I knew and said, pass this information on to other theater friends and things like that.
Right.
And it went really well, got great feedback. So out of that was born these Wednesday workshops. So I talked to the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation and was given a grant, which I'm so grateful for. I just want to say that. But these workshops, we're going to do them once a month because now we are in school and kids have a lot more to deal with. Right. But it's once a month. It's virtually via Zoom. And tonight, our first guest artist, his name is Raheem Lawrence. He's an actor based out of D.C. He's an Actors Equity actor, which is the union. You have to be equity to be on Broadway.
Okay.
So he's just so that gives you a point of reference.
So he's the real thing.
He's the real thing. He's also an associate artistic director, which means a casting director for a professional theater in Indiana named Shawnee Playhouse. And he is an amazing actor, and he's going to do a physical acting workshop through monologue, because physical acting, even right now, what to do with your hands when you're on stage, right? And you probably even know that as a speaker, they feel so heavy.
Right.
And so it's different points and different education in acting, different methods of how to use your body and how to understand how to use that. Once again, specialized education, not just emotions, but logic that follows, so the emotion can really be crafted well.
Oh, I love that.
Because it's based on logic. Yeah.
And that'll work great through Zoom, too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So he's our first guest artist. And then we have a series of guest artists. I think we have 9. And then if our guidelines are lifted, hopefully by next June, we're going to have one live masterclass here in Charleston. It'll be a full day. And everyone who's participated comes, and then they get to really get live feedback as well for a full day. Not a master class in the morning of education. In the afternoon, they get critiques back. They get to perform.
Well, I hope that happens for so many reasons, but it would be wonderful for your program for that to happen and for all the participants. But so we've talked a lot about kids joining the program, but it's a little bit more than that.
It is.
So what if I'm out of school and maybe a young adult or I have some time and this inkling that I want to be a performer, who's eligible?
The age actually is 12 to 40 years old.
12 to 40?
12 to 40.
I love that.
Because in a theater show, in reality, if we're doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and let's say I cast you as the narrator, the lead vocalist,
Woo!
right? But you are also going to have a whole cast of children you have to deal with, So I allowed for that to say, okay, 12 to 40 years of age, we want adults as well to be able to get this specialized education. Tonight, I will tell you, I have 2 participants who are also Charleston Light Opera Guild actors. They've been in quite a few shows, and they're adults. They work professionally, they have professional careers, but they just want to better their craft. Possibly one of them is a teacher, possibly be able to do summer stock, which is regional theater in the summers when he doesn't have to work.
So that'd be perfect.
And this is going to get him on the track to understand the standards, the guidelines that he would have to be able to meet. Yeah.
As well as meeting people in the field.
Exactly. Which is another thing, the connections. We had one little girl who last year, we had a lady from Disney speak, and she was talking about writing, business writing, email writing, even at a young age, how important networking is in everything. Well, this little girl took it, and she wrote Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's the, I don't know if you know who that is. Hamilton, exactly. He wrote her back. She received a letter a month and a half ago. So it's even things like that to have these connections to this lady now from Disney. So let's say you become an adult, or you're in a college program, you write her, she connects you and says, I remember you from the program. So it's a way for them to establish networking where it's financially feasible right now.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. Where do you see it growing? How do you see the program growing?
My desire, how I see it growing is hopefully if we pilot this, we do well, we see growth, and we can, in seeing growth, it supports all the theaters around here, the dance studios, and they see growth as well. What I'm hoping is that directors and owners of studios will continue to promote this to their students, the theaters, to their local actors, and that we could grow this. And I would love for this to become, honestly, a yearly series that we could do.
Well, I think it has the potential, absolutely. And I think that you know this, and we all know this, that having arts in the community is better for the community.
Absolutely.
It recruits businesses, it recruits residents, and it just makes everyone happier, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Yes, it does. And I know you have a long background in the arts, and so you bring so much to the program personally and professionally, and so that's just wonderful. And I love that it also has the social aspect of helping the community and helping those that need it.
That's well, and I want to say that's the biggest part of this is that when I came, I want to be able to support the local arts, and we all know budgets are, and especially now, people are strapped.
Right.
So if I can offer and be a support to theaters, to dance companies, to voice studios, if I can provide just that little extra, maybe they can't, it's not in their budget to bring, but if I can add that, then it betters their programs and it betters the arts all around. And like you said, arts contribute to communities.
And Amanda, you get to do what you love, so that's even better, isn't
Exactly,
it?
exactly.
Yeah, do what you love and helping people, that's great. If people are interested, they can reach out to you through 3bridgesarts@gmail.com.
Yes.
There is a Facebook page, which is a great way to message you or keep up on anything that's happening. Is that
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
I
having
loved
me.
learning about the Wednesday workshops and the connections and the way it's involving students and that it's helping population. I love everything about it. It's been a joy talking with you.
You as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for joining us. It has been Community Connections brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. Hope you'll come back and see us again.